Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my 2022 releases that I'm looking forward to, or that have been on my radar. Part 2. If you guys missed, I did a part 1 to this in December of last year as part of my Jen's Miss. So if you so desire to go look at part 1, please do. It is there for your perusing. Today we're gonna go through another chunk of books that I have since come across that I'm very excited to read. I don't remember the last books that I talked about. The last one that I added to this list, I think, was Blade Breaker, and I know for sure that I talked about that one in that video. So from there, the next one that I'm very, very excited about is Nona the Ninth, which is the third book in the Locked Tomb series, which is the Gideon the Ninth series. I have so far only read Gideon the Ninth, but I have Tarot the Ninth on the go currently, and I'm very excited for Nona the Ninth to be released, and for Nona the Ninth to have a cover. This one is going to be released September 13th, 2022, and I'm very excited about it. The next one on this list that I have is Kaikeyi, probably I'm pronouncing that wrong, by Vaishnavi Patel. This is a mythological retelling. It has been compared to Madeline Miller's Circe, the only daughter of the kingdom of Kekaya. She is raised on tales about the might and benevolence of the gods, how they churned the vast ocean to obtain the nectar of immortality, how they vanquish evil. Yet she watches as her father unceremoniously banishes her mother, listens as her own worth is reduced to how great a marriage alliance she can secure. It is a stunning debut from a powerful new voice. Kaikeyi is a tale of fate, family, courage, and heartbreak of an extraordinary woman determined to leave her mark in a world where gods and men dictate the shape of things to come. So this one is being released on April 26, 2022, and I'm very excited about that one. Then we have a few from HarperCollins that are being released. We have Tahira Mafi's first in her new fantasy series called This Woven Kingdom. This is, I believe, a fantasy romance, a YA fantasy romance? Not entirely sure. Yeah, clashing empires, forbidden romance, and long forgotten queen destined to save her people. Romantic trilogy inspired by Persian mythology, so that's why it's on this list, because y'all know I love mythology books. The next one here is The Book of Living Secrets by Madeline Rue. This one is being released on March 1st, and this is the story that follows two girls who transport themselves into the world of their favorite book only to encounter the sinister alternate reality that awaits them. So that one sounds really interesting. Then I also have Blood SCION, which is going to be released March 8th, which is awesome, by Deborah Falahi. Still not sure how to pronounce her last name. I will figure it out. It's pitched on the back of the book as a, like, Children of Blood and Bone and Ember of the Ashes. If you really like those, you're going to really like this book kind of a thing. So excited about that. It's mythology. It's brutal. All that loveliness. Then we have A Taste of Iron and Gold by Alexandra Rowland, and this specifically I saved because it was on one of the massive Twitter threads that had over 140 queer books being released this year, whether that's by a queer author or features LGBTQIA+ characters. And this was one of them, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this cover. I'm so excited about it. But this is being released June 21st, and this is The Goblin Emperor Meets Magnificent Century, where a queer central romance unfolds in a fantasy world reminiscent of the Ottoman Empire. This next one here is Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May. This is being released March 29th. There's a lot of them in March. In the aftermath of World War I, a naive woman is swept into a glittering world filled with dark magic, romance, and murder in this lush and decadent debut. So it is a historical fantasy, I do believe, which sounds awesome. And I think this might be, is this the one where it's like Great Gatsby vibe? Yeah, Sapphic Gatsby. That's what it is. That was the one that was Sapphic Great Gatsby vibe. The next one is The City of Dusk by Tara Sim. This one is being released on March 22nd, another March book. This is set in a gorgeous world of bone and shadow magic, which, if you guys know anything about me, that is all I need to know about fantasy books, is if it has bone magic. If it has bone magic, I'm in. Because one of my favorite YA fantasy books is The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen, and that one has magic that has to do with teeth, and I find it so cool, and I'm very, very excited to read The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, because that one also has bone magic. So like any kind of interesting magic systems like this, like bone and shadow magic, I'm in. And it literally continues of vengeful gods and defiant chosen ones. The City of Dusk is the first in a dark epic fantasy trilogy that follows the 4 heirs of 4 noble houses, each gifted with a divine power, as they form a tenuous alliance to keep their kingdom from descending into a realm-shattering war. So that's all I need to know about this one. I'm so excited. And this cover as well. I'm in love with it. There's so many good books that are coming out this year. I'm so excited. The next one, I can't remember if I mentioned it in my previous video, but it is The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean, and I'm very excited about this one. This is coming out August 9th, and this is a standalone fantasy, contemporary fantasy. It is a story of motherhood, sacrifice, and hope, of queer identity and learning to accept who you are, of gilded lies and the danger of believing the narratives others create for you. Out on the Yorkshire moors lives a secret line of people for whom books are food and who retain all of a book's content after eating it. To them, spy novels are a peppery snack. Romance novels are sweet and delicious. Eating a map they can help them remember destinations, and children, when they misbehave, are forced to eat dry, musty pages from dictionaries. Devon is part of the family, an old and reclusive clan of book eaters. Her brothers grow up feasting on stories of valor and adventure, and Devon, like all other book eater women, is raised on a carefully curated diet of fairy tales and cautionary stories. But real life doesn't always come with happy endings, as Devon learns when her son is born with a rare and darker kind of hunger, not for books, but for human minds. I don't know, Sunyi Dean, where they got this idea from, but I love it and I want it right now. I want it right now. I'm so intrigued. The next one is a sequel to a book that I actually have on my shelves. It is the sequel to Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu, and it is Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments. And I'm very excited about this because this is a really unique world of Edinburgh that feels kind of out of place in time, and the narrator is just absolutely fantastic. Such a unique voice, and I loved this book. Even though I had a few flaws with it when I first read it, I'm very excited to see how this trilogy unfolds. It is coming out March 8th. The next book is Monsters Born and Made by Tanvi Berwa. This is coming out September 6th, which is my birthday. How fun. This one apparently is perfect for fans of The Hunger Games and Fable. It is a South Asian inspired fantasy that is a gripping debut about the power of the elite, the price of glory, and one girl's chance to change it all. So I believe it is a YA, and this cover again is just beautiful. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about this one. It sounds so cool. The next one is the sequel to Shadow of the Gods by GWYNNE. This is Hunger of the Gods, and I'm obsessed with these covers. Like honestly, GWYNNE's covers are just amazing. So I can only imagine what the wrap is going to look like for Hunger of the Gods, because I've seen a few of the images, but the wrap for Shadow of the Gods is my favorite. I adore it. Every time I like talk about Shadow of the Gods on my channel, I have to open it up so you can see the dragon in its full force. I am so excited for Hunger of the Gods because GWYNNE might possibly skyrocket to one of my favorite authors of all time this year, because I plan on continuing his Malice series. I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready for it. The Hunger of the Gods continues the Bloodsworn saga. It's a fantasy story that's like Norse inspired. It's brutal, it's intense, but I love it. The next one is The Surviving Sky by Kritika H. Rao. This is going to be released this year. I don't believe it has an official publishing date yet, but it is going to be released this fall. High above a jungle planet floats the last refuges of humanity, plant-made civilizations held together by tradition, technology, and arcane science. In these living cities, architects are revered above anyone else. If not for their ability to psychically manipulate the architecture, the cities would plunge into the devastating earth rage storms below. So it sounds so good. It's a Hindu philosophy inspired epic adult fantasy with lovers to enemies to ? That's what the first person puts in it as an additive review. I am very excited about that one, and I'm excited to see what kind of cover we get for it. The next one is one of my most anticipated releases this year, and it is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, and this is released May 17th. This book is inspired by 1001 Nights. So this follows a gripping tale of a legendary smuggler, a cowardly prince, and a dangerous quest across the desert to find a legendary magical lamp. Neither here nor there, but long ago, Louis Al-Nasri, I said her name wrong, Luli, goodness, al-Nazari is the Midnight Merchant, a criminal who, with the help of her jinn bodyguard, hunts and sells illegal magic. When she saves the life of a cowardly prince, she draws the attention of his powerful father, the Sultan, who blackmails her into finding an ancient lamp that has the power to revive the barren land at the cost of sacrificing all jinn. So high stakes, high reward. I'm into it. And it's an adult Arabian fantasy. I originally found it mainly because Shelley Parker Chan talked about it on Twitter. And y'all know I love Shelley Parker Chan. They are amazing. So that is why that's on my list. The next one is The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. This one I wasn't going to add to this list until I saw Holly Hart's books basically compare it to The Witcher. And I love The Witcher. The TV show is one of my favorites. So I added it immediately and she gave it 5 stars. So I was like, you know what? I trust her opinion. But this one, no man is above the law. Sir Conrad von Volt is a justice, a judge, jury, and executioner all in one. He is sworn to travel the empire and uphold the law by way of his sharp intellect, arcane powers, and skill as a swordsman. Yet these are dangerous times even for a justice. When von Volt investigates the murder of a provincial aristocrat, he unearths a conspiracy that stretches to the very top of imperial society. So Holly Hart's books says, all you need to know for now is that I stayed up until 3 a.m. to finish this. So I'm in. And this is such a cool cover as well. Honestly, this year, I can just see these big fantasy covers. Just every time I see them, I get more and more excited. So amazing. This next one I added because Tasha Sudi, who is one of my favorite authors, was talking about it on social media, and she basically said, you need to add this to your TBR right now. And it is The Final Strife by Sara El Arifi. This one is being published on June 23rd. This is a visionary African and Arabian inspired fantasy trilogy. This is the beginning of it. 3 women band together against a cruel empire that divides people by blood. Red is the blood of the elite, of magic, of control. Blue is the blood of the poor, of workers, of the resistance. And clear is the blood of slaves, of the crushed, of the invisible. It sounds so good. I'm so ready. Oh my goodness. Oh, this next one is probably one of the ones that I'm most intrigued to read. It is Wrath Goddess Sing by Maya Dean. And this one is a gender-bent trans Achilles retelling. I'm so excited for this. You guys have no idea. So this is drawing on ancient texts and modern archaeology to reveal the trans woman's story hidden underneath the well-known myths of the Iliad. Maya Dean's Wrath Goddess Sing weaves a compelling, piteously beautiful vision of Achilles' vanquished world. Perfect for fans of Song of Achilles and the Inheritance trilogy. The gods wanted blood. She fought for love. Achilles has fled her home and her vicious Myrmidon clan to live as a woman with a Kalai, the transgender priestess of Great Mother Aphrodite. So it is Achilles' story that we know and love, especially from if you've read the Song of Achilles, but it is trans, and I am so excited about that. The next one, we have so many to go through, so that's why I'm kind of doing this rapid fire, but the next one is The Ballad of Perilous Graves by Alex Jennings. This is going to be released June 21st. This one is pitched as in a fantastical version of New Orleans where music is magic. A battle for the city's soul brews between 2 young mages, a vengeful wraith, and one powerful song in this vibrant and imaginative debut. That's all I need to know. Y'all know I love music, so anything to do with music, I'm automatically intrigued. The next one is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. Now this cover is deeply disturbing. Deeply disturbing, and I mainly added it because it is a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, which I've studied many times in university in my English major career. So that is the one reason why I've added it to this list, is because it's a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. I'm in. I don't need to know anything else. This one is going to be released July 12th. The next one is Sanctuary by Andy C. Buchanan. This is going to be released sometime this year. We don't really know. Morgan's home is a sanctuary for ghosts. The once grand, now dilapidated old house they live in has become a refuge for their found family. From Morgan's partner Araminta, an artist with excellent dress sense, to Theo, a 10-year-old with an excess of energy, to quiet telekinesthetic pensioner Denny. All of them consider this haunted house their home. In a world that wasn't built for their queer, neurodivergent selves, they've made it into a place they belong. Together they welcome not just the ghosts of the house's former inhabitants, but any who need somewhere to belong, which just sounds so lovely. So lovely. The next one is called Adrift in Starlight by Mindy Breyer. This one is supposed to be published this May. We're not entirely sure. This is about a gender-neutral courtesan who is hired to seduce an asexual museum archaeologist, and both are accidentally caught up in an illegal adventure when one of the museum's alien artifacts comes to life. The next one on this list is The Genesis of Misery by Neon Yang, which I am obsessed by this cover. Absolutely obsessed. It looks so cool. This is an immersive, electrifying space fantasy from Neon Yang, who's the author of Black Tides of Heaven. This is full of high-tech space battles and political machinations, starring a queer and diverse array of pilots, princesses, and prophetic heirs. This is the story of Misery no Maki, she-they, a nobody from a nowhere mining planet who possesses the rare stoneworking powers of a saint. Unfortunately, these saint-like abilities also manifest in those succumbing to void madness, like that which killed Misery's mother. Knowing they are not a saint, but praying that they are not void mad, Misery keeps quiet about their powers for years while dreaming and scheming of ways off their forged, forsaken planet. I'm so into it. But yeah, this one is being released September 27th this year. So a little later, you have to wait for that one, but I think it's going to be really worth it. The next one is called The Water Outlaws. This is by S.L. Huang. This is supposed to be released this year sometime, not entirely sure. This is an epic queer fantasy full of bandits, heroes, and revolution, inspired by the Chinese classic Water Margin. So that's all I need to know. I'm so into it. The next one here is Bluebird by Ciel Pialot. This is going to be released February 8th. Literally all you need to know: lesbian gunslingers in space. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. And you're going to put it on your list. 1000%. I know it. The next one is Scorpica by G.R. McAllister. This one's going to be released February 22nd. A centuries-long peace is shattered in a matriarchal society when a decade passes without a single girl being born in this sweeping epic fantasy that's perfect for fans of Robin Hobb and Circe by Madeline Miller. 500 years of peace between queendoms shatters when girls inexplicably stop being born. As the drought of girls stretches across a generation, it sets off a cascade of political and personal consequences across all 5 queendoms of the known world, throwing long-standing alliances into disarray as each queendom begins to turn on each other. And I've seen a few people already rate it like 5 stars, really highly rated, so excited to get to that one. The next one here is Spear by Nicola Griffith. This one is going to be released April 19th. This is, I believe, a novella. I think this is a tour novella that's being released. The girl knows she has a destiny before she even knows her name. She grows up in the wild, in a cave with her mother, but visions of a faraway lake come to her on the spring breeze, and when she hears a traveler speak of Artos, king of Caerleon, she knows that her future lies at his court. I am into it. I'm into it. And as with novellas, I don't like to know a whole lot going in, so that's about it. The next one here is by Sharon J. Zhao, which is the author of Iron Widow, which I have recently read and really liked. This one is their middle grade. It is Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. This is going to be released May 3rd, and I'm very excited about it. This looks just wonderful, and it is, I think, pitched as like Percy Jackson. Yeah, Percy Jackson meets Tristan Strong in this hilarious action-packed middle grade contemporary fantasy that follows a young boy as he journeys across China to seal the underworld shut and save the mortal realm. So very excited about this. And y'all know I love my middle grade, so I'm here for it. All right, friends, we got 2 more left. So we have Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. This one's going to be released in August, and this just sounds great. So, PhD candidate Phoebe Walsh has always been obsessed with true crime. She's even analyzing the genre in her dissertation if she can manage to finish writing it. It's hard to find time while she spends the summer in Florida cleaning out her childhood home, dealing with her obnoxiously good-natured younger brother, and grappling with the complicated feelings of her mourning a father she hadn't had a relationship for years. It doesn't help that she's low-key convinced her new neighbor, Sam Dennings, is a serial killer. He may dress business casual by day, but at night he's clearly up to something. But it's not long before Phoebe realizes that Sam might be something much scarier, a genuinely nice guy who can pierce through her armor to her vulnerable heart underneath. And then the last book we have on this list is Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove by Rati Mehrotra. Feel like I said that wrong, I do apologize. This is going to be released October 18th, and this just looks absolutely stunning. I want this book just for the cover alone, to be honest with you guys, but the description sounds really cool. So, to learn what she can become, she must first discover who she is. This is a stunning and immersive debut set in an alternate medieval India infested with monsters, where a young guardswoman struggles with her unwitting role as a major pawn in the deadly games between 2 kingdoms. With incredible characters, a vivid setting, and heart-rending emotion, Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove will enthrall you until the very last page. I am amped for that, and really, in general, I am amped for all of these books, for every single one of them, my guys. 2022 just is looking like such a wonderful reading year, and I'm so excited to get to all of these amazing books. So if you have not yet, as I said at the beginning of this video, go watch part 1 because it is up and there's even more fantastic books that I talk about in that one. But other than that, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this video if you did, and I will catch you in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.